I think we can all agree that Donald Trump is a misogynist.
But when I come home and dinner's not ready, I go through the roof, okay?
You know, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab him by the...
As president, this self-avowed sexual predator has channeled his distaste for women into concrete policies, with an assist from some of the other gross old toads who run our government. FYI, 80% of those Trump nominated to top government positions were men, a rate higher than the last 3 presidents. And it doesn't help that currently, women only hold about 20% of the seats in Congress. And I'm rounding up. Like most of his ideas, Trump's anti-women policies aren't particularly original. They're part of the conservative movement's decades-long fight to roll back women's rights. And now, with a little help from born-again bar of harsh soap Mike Pence, that movement has popped a squat in the executive branch. Here's a little something to make you want to develop a casual interest in voodoo. The Trump administration has turned back the clock on women's access to affordable birth control. Contraceptive pills, diaphragms, implants. Under Obamacare, most private plans were required to cover all of these prescriptions at no additional cost. And thanks to this, more than 55 million women had access to contraceptives without co-payments. Not anymore, my fellow sluts! Backed by the radical right, Trump expanded the religious employer exemption to allow any employer to deny birth control coverage on religious or moral objections. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has filled key women's health roles with a cast of characters so unreal that they seem to have been plucked from a dystopian novel for young adults. For example, Theresa Manning, who oversees the nation's only federal family planning program, is a former lobbyist for a pro-life organization. And guess what? She doesn't think there should be a federal family planning program. She has also said that contraception doesn't work. And we've seen up close the harm these people are willing to inflict.
Do you believe that immigrants have constitutional rights?
Once again, ma'am, if somebody wants to come into the United States and...
I'll take that as a no.
Scott Lloyd, who runs the Office of Refugee Resettlement, went to extraordinary lengths to try and prevent a detained, undocumented 17-year-old from getting an abortion. She was only able to do so after the ACLU sued. And you know how the Republican Party forgave Trump's grab him by the pussy thing? Well, what happened next is not surprising. The Trump administration has rolled back an Obama-era Title IX policy that aimed to better protect sexual assault victims on college campuses. Now, under the White House's new guidelines, the standard of proof has been lifted higher, raising concerns that survivors will once again be stuck in a system that punishes them instead of their attackers. And the person spearheading this? None other than Education Secretary and freaky billionaire Betsy DeVos, who generously took the time to meet with some men's rights activists before announcing the policy. Earlier this summer, Secretary DeVos instructed her staff to scale back their investigations into civil rights violations at public universities, including the mishandling of sexual assaults. The head of the Education Department's Civil Rights Division, Candace Jackson, has said that 90% of reported rapes fall into the category of "we were both drunk." No, Candace, but I definitely would love a drink right now. But Trump has shown thoughtful consideration toward equalizing the paying field for women, at least according to his daughter and #1 fan.
He will fight for equal pay, for equal work, and I will fight for this too, right alongside of him.
True to form, Ivanka ditched this fight real quick. She's backed her dad's move to make it easier for companies to pay women and minorities less. Trump scrapped an Obama-era mandate that required businesses with more than 100 employees to track wages by race and gender, and then reported to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The administration argued that these reporting requirements overly burdened companies and wouldn't do anything to close the wage gap anyway. So why even try, right? I know this is all very overwhelming, but women have been dealing with terrible idiots since the beginning of time, and we've picked up a few lessons along the way. Things may be shitty right now, but Trump's cohort of elderly sexists and theocratic maniacs have reawakened the beast, a women's movement that's bigger, louder, and more pissed off than ever. In fact, a year after Trump became president, progressive women and minorities have swept into office at the state and local level. From Virginia, where Danica Roem became the first openly transgender person elected to the state legislature, to Charlotte, North Carolina, where Vi Lyles became the city's first woman African-American mayor. So hang on to your hair, Donald, because we're coming for you. And also just so it doesn't blow away.